Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel YKim. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring the bell. What I'd like to talk to you guys today about is moral signifiers. These are the things that are put around us in the world to direct us and signify to us what we should be doing, so that we can avoid making the wrong decisions and causing harmful and bad consequences. To give an example of a moral signifier, I'd like to use a stop sign. That's an example of a moral signifier. Stop. Please don't go ahead. It could be dangerous and you will possibly hurt someone. Stop. What I want everybody to think about is, I've got two questions. What are some other examples of moral signifiers in our society? That's the first question. The second question is, why do we need them? And do we need them? I'd like to put forward a proposal that, for the most part, we don't need them. For the most part, there is no need to signify what is right or wrong and how we should go about our life. To give you another example of a moral signifier, please wear a mask, please wash your hands. Come up with some other examples for yourself and comment down below. I am putting forward the idea that if we are using the strict and proper principles of reason, which is the practice and process of our thought in a proper way, there is no need for many of the moral signifiers that we all follow and need to follow to get things done. The reason that there is so many moral signifiers in the world to tell us how to act and what to do, what's right, that could cause harm, and you must be careful, is another proposal that I'm putting forward, which I want everybody to speak about and to tell me your argument and prove me wrong. The education system in the modern world, in most countries, shapes us to be proper citizens of the country we're in the early childhood years of education, to the middle, and then through, let's say, secondary school, partly through secondary school. I'm not talking about the end of secondary school or higher education. I'm talking about preschool, kindergarten, early years, then through the primary schools and the beginning of the secondary schools. All of those years of education, they are not specifically for the mathematics, the history, the science, the logic, the sport. We do not need that much time to be educated in those areas. It takes many years to get that simple education of some of those areas. I've missed some out. In possibly 2 years or 3 at the most, I think, of a proper education. That is enough to learn how to think properly and how to take in the methods of science, the methods of history, and to learn about mathematics and science. The reason we spend so long in school from a young age is to become good citizens. We learn how to have a routine. We learn how to get up on time, to be there on time, to get home at time, to eat at a certain time. We learn how to be responsible members of the community. All the while, moral signifiers being in place, reminding us of how we should act and what's right and what's wrong. A lot of the time, It is deemed by some people, maybe in power, I don't know, that the more and more moral signifiers are needed because the education of the citizens is not of a decent enough quality so people can reason and think better about making moral decisions. If the education I am proposing is different, and it's not just about making decent, good citizens that get to work on time, that get a routine and learn to be in a community, which probably is important, learning to be friends with each other. Instead of the focus only being on that, mostly in the early years of education, I am proposing that the focus needs to be more of a sophisticated and proper education where they are and we are being trained in the skills of logic and ethics, in methods of science and history, learning and studying and debating about the different methods of history that have been put forward about our past. That can be done at a very young age. Another proposal I'm making. There is many examples of young children that have got the ability to read these texts, to spend 2 hours a day reading all of these brilliant texts of history and science and critical thinking when they're very young. I am not sure why we don't do that, but I am proposing that the education system seems to be more focused on having a good citizen that knows when to get to work, do what they're told, and act appropriately and not harm others in the community. I want to know what you guys think. Please excuse me for my appearance today. I've just had the booster jab and I feel absolutely terrible. Please let me be, and if you want to call me brainwashed, that's no problem at all. We can talk about that another time. But to be honest with you, I just feel sick and I could not be bothered with an argument of that sort. Peace to all of you, and subscribe, ring the bell, and please comment about moral signifiers and the education system we have all around the world, in whatever country you're in.